Alright guys, this is the lesson. I tried 2 times yesterday and had problems with my computer. I have realized that they have the microphones on the side that I was using because I'm left-handed. My hand is resting on the side. So if you had sound issues from me, that's why. So I've hooked up a a microphone to some earplugs. So hopefully that will remedy that situation. And then Ron also has a Bluetooth microphone ordered for me on Amazon, which hopefully we will get soon. Many of you may have already done this lesson and may not need it, but I'm going to go ahead and go through it quickly for those of you who still haven't finished with this lesson. So this lesson is about area. Area is the inside of our simple closed figure. So up top in our brown box, we see first of all a rectangle, and then we see an odd shaped object. So the rectangle has, they don't have it like feet, inches, yards, or anything like that, or millimeters. They have this just in what they call units, which is not a real measurement. It's just one to show you how to do it. So if we look at this rectangle and we count the units or the boxes across, we see that there's 12 of them. So we could say that the length is 12 units. Okay. If I go down the sides, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 units going down. Okay. When we did perimeter, we would have added up the sides. I would have done 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, which we'll do that down at the bottom of this page. Area, on the other hand, is not the distance around your object. It's the area inside your object. And we measure that in actually little squares. So 1 unit this way, 1 unit this way would make a little box or a little square. And we're going to count up how many little squares are in this box. If we wanted to take our time and count them all, which they've done for us, we see that there's 84 of them. See that? A much quicker way to do it, though, is to use a formula that they have, and they're going to teach you this in a couple lessons, is to use a formula for area, which where you would do the length and you would multiply the width. 12 times 7, and we all know 12 times 7 is 84, so there's your 84, and you would call it 84 square units. Alright, or I like to write it 84 units squared. We've been learning how to do squares. Everybody has. This one over here is a very odd shape. What you would probably do in the future, which they're not going to give you this one. They're just showing you they're adding up the little squares and they get 36 of them. We would probably treat this as a square and figure that part out and then add in all this part right here. But these are, this is a formula that you would use, say for instance, in your room. Say this room right here is your bedroom, okay? And you want to carpet it. So you need the whole area filled up, right? So you would figure the length of your room. Say your room is 12 feet. The width of your room is 7 feet. And if you did 12 times 7, and you would know that you would need 84 square feet of carpet when you went to the store. This one could be your room plus a little hallway area, maybe that you want to carpet. And so you'd want to figure out those square, say feet, or probably square feet you would probably use for like a carpet and a hallway and a bedroom. All right, so now let's go down to number 1. We're not really doing the formula today. We'll get that in the future. Today we're just figuring out how many square units there are. You could count them, but I'm going to go ahead and use what I know. I know the area equals the length times the width. I think that it doesn't hurt to just do that right off the bat. So if I count the little squares across on my yellow box, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I get 6 units across the top, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units on the side. 6 times 6 would be 36 square units. This one, I can do the length. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then 2 down the side. 2 times 11 is 22, and then subtract that one that's missing. So we'd get 21 square units. This one's a little trickier. We have 2 half ones. See these 2 half ones? So they're going to total 1. So let's count the rest. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, plus 2 halves would be 16. And that's all we're going to do in area today. We'll do some more later, but they just want to kind of introduce it to you today. Let's go back to perimeter. Now, perimeter is the distance around an object. So the formula for perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Unless it's a square, then it would be 4 times the sides, because they're all the same in a square. Okay? There's our 2 formulas. If we have a triangle, we just add up the sides, or anything funky. Alright, so we have a rectangle. So you're going to do perimeter equals 4.9 times 2, and I'm pretty much going to leave you on your own with this. I'll just talk about it. So you'll solve that, and then you'll add that answer to whatever 3.2 times 2 is. Okay? Yeah, we have this little thing right here, which maybe I should go over a few of those with you. But let's look at the square first, because the square has 16.5 meters on all 4 sides. So it's 16.5 times 4, right? Change 16.5 to an improper fraction. You'll get 3233 over 2. Then you will multiply that by 4. Okay? You can pause me and solve those two if you would like, because I'm going to help you with C, E, and F. And I'll clean up my page. You can pause me. And now that you've finished that, notice that C's rectangle has 4 feet 8 inches. Whoops. And a width of 16 inches. And in our directions, we're going to the lesser unit, the smaller unit, which means we're going to convert these 4 feet into the inches that the rest of the problem is in. So the question is, if you have 4 feet, how many inches is that? Well, 4 feet to inches is multiply, and you should know that there's 12 inches in a foot. If I do 4 times 12, I know my multiplication facts, that's 48. Now add in the 8 inches that you have, and you get 56. All right? At that point, you're just going to do the 56 times the 2 plus whatever 16 times 2, whoops, 16 times 2. And you can pause me and you can figure that out on your own. All right. D is pretty easy. Just change that 3 2/3 to an improper fraction before you solve it. Rectangle, we have yards and we have feet. And according to our directions, we want to go to the lesser unit or the smaller one, which is feet. So 4 yards is how many feet? Well, there's 3 feet in 1 yard. So I know that 4 yards is 12 feet. Okay? Now you can just do 12 times the 2 plus 7 times the 2. That one's so easy you could almost do that in your head. If you'd like to pause me, you may. Finally, the rectangle is in kilometers and meters. Kilometers is obviously bigger than meters. So remember, meters is the middle measurement. 10 meters is a decameter. 100 meters is a hectometer. And 1,000 meters is a kilometer or kilometer. 1 kilometer down to meter, that's larger to smaller. We're going to multiply. We're going to multiply the 6 times something. how many steps from kilometer to meter? 1, 2, 3. So you could do that times 3 zeros there is 1,000. Or just add 3 zeros to the 6 and you get 6,000 meters. At this point, you'll just do 6,000 times 2, just double it. Double the 6 and make it a 12, and then add in the zeros. And then 25 times 2, which everybody should know that, is 50. And then add those up. And make sure all of these measurements you're putting, all these answers you're putting the actual measurement after it. Alright, you guys are pretty good about that. Alright, I'm going to pause you for a second because the other lesson is far away. I'm going to find it and then I'll bring it back. Okay. Alright, so this is the page that gave me so many fits yesterday. For some reason this page is behaving differently than all the other pages that I've taken pictures of, and I don't know why, but we're just going to plow through it. So let's look at these story problems together. Aaron bought 1/4 pound of peanuts for 98 cents. If he had bought 1 pound, how much would it have cost? So if 1/4 pound, we can just think of this logically. We can set up a problem for this, but it's almost easier just to think of it logically. So if 1/4 pound is 98 cents, all right, how much is a pound? Well, remember, a pound will be 4 1/4, right? 4 1/4 will make 1 whole pound. So all I have to do is 0.98 times 4 to find that answer. So you can pause me and then come back and do the next one with me. Okay? Trent has saved $21 for camp this summer, and hopefully you'll all get to go to camp this summer. That's a little iffy, isn't it? It's a little scary. This is only 1/5 of the money he will need. Same thing. How much money does he need altogether? All right. I'm going to show you how you could set these up as a formula, even though this is the same thing as the last problem. You could do our little is of problem. You could do $21 is 1/5 of what? Okay, so you could either do it like we did the last problem, but let's do it differently. Let's go ahead and make a nice little algebra problem. We'll say this is T for total cost, okay? The way to do this is to, we will do 21 divided by 1/5, or we could even, let me show you something. Let me show you something really fancy. Show you some algebra, okay? So in algebra, it's kind of hard because I don't have much space here. Alright, so we're on the back part of the page. I want to work these story problems with you. They're not in the review, so I thought I could help you with them. Aaron bought 1/4 pound of peanuts for 98 cents. If he bought 1 pound, how much would it have cost? Now the next problem is going to be very similar to this one, so I'm going to do them 2 different ways, so we can just see different ways we can do them. So if 1/4 pound is 98 cents, well, how many 1/4 do you need to get to a pound? You're going to need 4 of them, right? So every one of these 1/4 pounds will cost 98 cents. So all you have to do, I'll turn my thing, is multiply 0.98 times, I don't know why that's not working, 1/4. You can put that over 1. I don't have much room to solve that, but you can cross cancel. Oh no, what am I doing? Ignore that. Ignore Mrs. Kenny. It's 0.98 times the 4. So what am I doing? Because there's 4 of these 1/4 pounds. That's what I meant. Sorry about that. 0.98 times 4. Put your decimal in there. Pause me and get yourself an answer. Now the next one, Trent has saved $21 for camp this summer. this is only 1/5 of the money that he will need. How much money does Trent need for summer camp? So this we can kind of treat like one of our is of problems, okay? And let me set it up like that so you can see it. So $21 is 1/5 of the total. All right, and remember you've done this before, so you can do 21 divided by 1/5. You could do it like this, divided by 1/5, and remember you change it to multiplication and flip that second number. So basically you're just doing 21 times 5. I want to try one more thing though. Let's say we set it up like an algebra problem. So if we have $21, it equals 1/5 of the total. So what does it look like you do here? Remember, we want to get t by itself. I just picked t for total. It doesn't matter what you pick. And what I would do is I would flip that 1/5 and make it 5/1 in order to get rid of it. So I'm left with just t. Then I would do $21 times 5/1, which is just 5. And you're doing the same thing up here as you're doing in the way we set it up. So there's like 3 different ways you could do these, and all 3 ways will get you the correct answer as long as you do your math right. All right, next problem. The high school seniors sold cookies at school to make some money to send to the Floyds, who are missionaries in Mexico. If 2 cookies cost 25 cents, how much will they make if they sell 398 cookies? So 2 cookies cost 25 cents. So how much will 398 cookies cost? Okay. 2 times what is 398? Basically all you have to do is half 398, or you could do 2 divided by 398 if you'd like to. But I know that half of 398 is 199. Now what you will do, and I won't do this part for you, you'll take that 199 and multiply it by 0.25 and get your answer. All right, so pause me, finish that, come back. All right, yesterday's, oh, these get really easy by the way, and the reason I know that is because it's kind of like the 4th time I've done this. Yesterday, Sydney finished her arithmetic worksheet in 30 minutes. What part of an hour is 30 minutes? Well, most of you probably can tell me right in your head how much of an hour 30 minutes is. But if you're not sure, you could put 30 over 60, which is how many minutes are in an hour. Get rid of those zeros, reduce 3 6s, and I'm not even going to tell you that answer because I know you know it. All right, Caden bought 4 pink roses to his teacher. 4 roses is what part of a dozen? Well, how many is in a dozen? You know that's 12. 4 out of 12. And I'm not even going to tell you that answer because I bet you can reduce that all on your own. Miss Rodriguez bought 9 mints for 72 cents. How much would a dozen mints? I can almost read these store problems without looking at them. All right, so what do we do? This one looks a little tricky because you're thinking 9 times what equals 12? I have no idea. So just think 9 times what equals 12? This is going to be 12 divided by 9. 9 goes into 12 once. With 3 left over, I'm going to use that as my remainder, make it a fraction. 1 3/9, that reduces to 1 1/3, right? So now you're going to do 1 1/3 times 0.72. I'll walk through you with this one, through it with you. Makes this into an improper fraction. We have 4 over 3 times 0.72. Are you doing it with me? Because as you do it, it's nice because you got me doing it, so you know you're getting it right, but yet you're still doing it yourself. 3 goes into 72. It does go into 72 evenly because 7 plus 2 is 9. 3 goes into 7 twice. 6, 1 left over. 3 goes into 12, 4. So we have 0.24. And at this point, we'll do, now this is 1. Now we're left with 0.24 times 4. And you get 0.96. Very good, 96 cents. Okay? All right, I didn't leave myself any room for that last one, so I'll erase everything. Isn't that great? Ryan bought a skateboard for, oh, this is so easy. I'm not even telling you. I'm not even working it because I know you can do it. Ryan bought a skateboard for $50. So the skateboard was reduced by $12. So what was the original cost? So this is a sale price. This is how much they took off of it. What was the cost before they put it on sale? I'm pretty sure you can do that one. All right. Number 4 is easy. You can tell me the names, number of sides. Number 5 is pretty easy. Just remember that a triangle has 180 degrees. If you forget that, you can write that down there to remind you in the future. So if you know 2 out of the 3 sides, it only makes sense to add up the 2 sides you already know. This one makes 107. And then subtract the 107 from 180. And that will give you the 3rd side. Remember that? We did that a couple days ago. All right. I'm going to do number 7 with you because I want to make sure we don't mess these up. These are pretty old, but sometimes people mess them up, and I don't want you messing up. So remember, in decimals, we have tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. Remember, I'll just put tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. Okay? 3 places. It goes further, but that's all we're going to need in this one. So if they have 9 tenths, that 9 will go right there in the tenth spot. I don't have to worry about zeros or anything because it's only one place. 18 thousandths, on the other hand, thousandths has 3 spots. Let me put my decimal. I'm going to put 3 lines. I don't want it to read 180, right? If I put the 18 first, no. I put the 18 here and put the 0 there. 4 and 62 hundredths, the and is a decimal. That means it's where the decimal starts, where the whole number ends and the decimal starts. So I have 4 and we have 62 hundredths. So hundredths is 2 places. So 62 will fit nicely. 114 thousandths. Thousandths has 3 places after the decimal, and 114 has 3 numbers. 16 and 7 hundredths. So 16 is the whole number. If we have 7 in the hundredths, right? So we have 2 places after the decimal, and we only have 7 of them. Number 8, you're just simply going to write where the decimal goes in your product. Remember, the product is the answer of a multiplication problem. So in A, we have 1 number after the decimal, 2 numbers after the decimal. So our decimal would go here. That's going to be pretty easy for you. All right. So whatever I didn't do, which I did a lot of it, didn't I, with you? Whatever I didn't do, you can finish. Have a great day.